You'll be starting this fight out different every week, but don't worry, after this guide, it's going to be a walk in the park. My name is Coyote, and this is the boss guide to Jammal, the Prophet, and Ogdom. So let's get to it.
Stupid coyote.
And there's a lot going on in this fight, but let's start off with figuring out which one you need to hit. Just if you're not sure, have a mage go up and just detect magic on it. There will be a buff on one of them that pretty much says that he's going to heal 99% of all damage done to him. So just go ahead and mark the other with a skull or X or whatever your raid target icon is. The idea behind this fight is to kill one and then the other, and then they're going to have some different abilities depending upon which fight. Let's go over the abilities, and then we'll start talking positioning. Arguably, the easiest of the two to deal with, Ogdom starts off with one of his abilities called Agonizing Weakness. Now, this is going to cause dark magic to flow around targets, doing 350 shadow damage every 2 seconds, and reducing damage done by 50%. This is a curse, so just to have any of your mages, druids, anybody that can dispel curses, take care of that. It needs to be dispelled rather immediately because less damage means longer kill times. As for phase 1, that's pretty much all he does. After you kill Jammal, he's going to eat him, and he's going to get the phase 2 abilities. After eating Jammal, he's going to be casting Consecrates on the ground. Now, this does a lot of damage every 1 second. You're going to want to get out of it. Now, if you're Alliance and you have multiple Paladins in your group casting Consecrate themselves, don't worry. There's an easy way to tell whether it's yours or whether it's Ogdom's. If you're Alliance and you need help deciding if that's your Consecrate or Ogdom's, just look for the poofy clouds. That is going to be a sign that it's Ogdom's. Move him out of this. Or if you're Horde and you needed that indicator, yeah, just keep looking for the poofy clouds. Probably the biggest reason you want to pull him out of these consecrations immediately is because of Divine Storm. This is going to pull everybody in, and if everybody's in the consecrate, there could be a nasty overlap with his next ability and could be fatal to your group. The next ability, which can have an overlap, is Hammer of Justice. Now, this is going to stun everybody for 6 seconds, and if you get pulled in and in the consecrate, well, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Your healers may not be able to keep up, so just stay on the move. And our final ability is your tank ability. This is going to be Holy Strike. It's going to strike a target, inflicting 100% weapon damage as holy and increasing the damage they take by 50%. Take as many of these as you're able, and then taunt swap as necessary. Next, let's talk the more deadly of the two, Jammal the Prophet. Now, if he's going to be your phase 2 boss, you're going to want to probably bring an extra healer. He does a lot of high damage abilities, and it becomes more of a healer check. He has a lot more abilities than Ogdom, so let's get to him. Starting off, we have Smite. Now, this is going to hammer the target for 400 damage. This can be interrupted, so if you have any means of doing it, I suggest it. Holy Nova. He's going to be casting Holy Novas on the floor, which keep exploding for some times. Players need to move out of this. When we get into positioning, I'll tell you how to make this almost a forgettable mechanic. Next, he'll be casting Holy Fire, which casts 5 Holy Fire on random targets, and this can be dispelled, so you should be doing it as soon as possible. And at the end of phase 1, we're going to have him drain, where he's going to drain Ogdom the Wretched after he dies, and he's going to go into phase 2 with some more deadlier abilities. Now, Jammal's going to continue casting Holy Nova, so as long as you follow my positioning coming up here soon, you're going to be fine. Next, expect the Psychic Scream. Now, this primarily affects melee players, so if you have a Shaman with a Tremor Totem in the group, it's going to help out. Or we have our Dwarf Priest cast Fear Wards, assigning one of them to actually be a Fear Ward guy, just to kind of keep that from being an issue. Next, you're going to see Shadow Sermon Pain. This will debuff 10 players, causing them to take 600 damage every 2 seconds. This has to be dispelled as soon as possible because his next ability could end everybody with it, and that is Mass Penance. Now, this deals 500 damage per second for 3 seconds to everybody. Let's talk positioning. First off, pick a stack point for your range, all right? All healers in range should be on this person, and you guys are going to move in a very particular pattern. This is going to keep your Holy Nova from backfiring on you later on down the phase. You're going to want to move in a square formation, trying to keep all of the Holy Novas concentrated to one area so your tanks and melee DPS don't get cut off. Tanks, keep this in mind because you're going to be slowly kiting the boss around the far edges of the room so the melee do not get affected by the Holy Novas. Now, the Holy Novas will despawn after a while, so you'll be able to reuse some of the room again. To keep this simple, I usually just mark one of my range players and make them the stack point, and I make the tank a stack point for both of these fights since there's no cone abilities coming out. Depending upon which boss is your phase 2 boss is going to depend upon who's moving more. If it's Jammal, expect your ranged and your healers to be moving a lot more than if it was Ogom, where your melee is going to be moving a lot more to get out of the concentrate. That's it. Taking on Jammal and Ogom is that simple. If you find this guide helpful, please leave a like on the video. Drop a comment if there's another strategy you like to use. I definitely want to hear it. As always, my name's Coyote. Happy adventures.
Stupid coyote.